Here's the thing most guys don't get. Attraction isn't about money, looks, or fancy lines. It's about habits. Small, powerful habits that change the way women see you and how they respond to your energy. And today, I'm going to teach you 3 habits that will completely shift the game for you. By the end of this video, you're going to understand not just what to do, but how to feel, move, and act in a way that makes women drawn to you naturally. And trust me, once you implement these habits, you'll notice changes almost immediately. But here's the kicker. Most men get this wrong completely, and that's why they fail. So let me ask you, are you ready to see what most guys miss and actually become the kind of man women can't ignore? Then stay with me, because what I'm about to share will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about attraction. Let's begin. 1. The mindset towards a woman. Here's what nobody tells you. The way you think about women is either making you magnetic or making you invisible. And I'm not talking about cheesy pickup lines or fake confidence. I'm talking about what's happening in your head before you even open your mouth. Because your mindset? That's what she feels first. Picture this. You walk into a room, and before you've said a word, people already have an impression of you. They sense your energy. They pick up on your posture, your eyes, your presence. Women are especially tuned into this. If your mindset is needy, insecure, or already doubting yourself, she doesn't need to hear a single sentence to know it. She feels it instantly. That's why some guys lose before they even start. But here's the twist. The mindset that actually attracts women isn't about arrogance. It's not about puffing your chest or trying to look tough. It's about something quieter, something stronger, certainty, a grounded presence, a man who knows who he is, with or without her attention. Think back to a time when you were around a guy who just seemed unshakable. He didn't need to be the loudest in the room. He didn't need to brag. He just carried himself like he was good with or without approval. That's the energy women lock onto. It's like gravity. They get pulled in without even realizing why. Now let me ask you, how often do you catch yourself already assuming she's out of your league? Or walking up to her rehearsing what to say, terrified of messing up? That's your mindset sabotaging you. You've already put her on a pedestal before you even know her. And once you do that, you've lost. Because attraction doesn't flow uphill. If you treat her like she's above you, she'll believe it. And that's the end of it. Here's the truth. Women don't fall for men who chase. They fall for men who choose. Men who look at her as a human being, not a trophy. When you come in with that frame, you shift the dynamic instantly. Instead of, I hope she likes me, it becomes, let's see if we even vibe. That's the mindset that keeps your power intact. But most men never get this far because they never fix what's happening internally. They obsess over techniques, over what to text, over what joke to tell, when the real secret is who you are before you even walk into the interaction. If you don't believe you're enough, no words in the world can save you. But if you do, you barely have to say a thing, and she'll feel it. And that's what we're about to get into next. Before we go deeper, just do one thing for me. Hit the like button. If this is already hitting something real, what's coming next will hit even harder. Let's keep going. 2, talk less, listen more. Your words have value. Now, here's where most men destroy themselves. They get the mindset right. But the second they open their mouths, it all falls apart. Why? Because they don't understand the weight of their words. They think attraction is about saying more, doing more, performing harder. But the truth? The more you talk, the less value your words carry. Let me paint you a picture. You're on a date, and you're nervous. So you start talking, and talking, and talking. You're telling her your life story, your goals, your jokes, every single thought in your head. By the end of it, she knows everything about you, and she's not impressed. Why? Because you gave her no reason to wonder about you. You stripped yourself of mystery. You gave away your power. And in the process, you taught her that your attention comes cheap. But imagine the opposite. Imagine being the man who listens more than he speaks. When she talks, you're present. You're not planning the next line. You're actually there with her. And when you do speak, your words cut through like a knife. They hit harder because they're not constant noise. They're rare, deliberate, chosen. That's when she leans in. That's when your words echo in her mind hours after you've gone. Here's the truth most men don't want to hear. Silence is a weapon. Used right, it's more powerful than any line or story you could ever tell. It shows patience, it shows restraint, and most importantly, it shows that you're not desperate for her attention. You're not filling the space because you're nervous. You're letting the silence work for you. And that silence, that's where the attraction builds, because she's left thinking about you instead of being overwhelmed by you. But let's be real. Talking too much is more than just boring, it's dangerous. The more you say, the more you reveal. Your fears, your weaknesses, your insecurities, they all slip out when you don't know when to stop. You think you're connecting, but really you're exposing. And the worst part? Once you spill everything, there's nothing left for her to discover. No tension, no curiosity, no reason for her to chase. You just handed away the mystery that could have made her obsessed. Now don't get it twisted. I'm not telling you to sit there like a statue acting cold and robotic. I'm telling you to be strategic, to talk when it matters, to use your words like a spotlight, not a floodlight. Because a man who knows when to speak and when to just sit back and let the world come to him, that man commands respect. That man creates impact without effort. And here's the crazy part. Once you start talking less, you'll feel it inside you too. Your confidence grows. Why? Because you're no longer proving yourself with words. You're proving yourself with presence. And presence is what women crave. It's what makes them feel safe, seen, and curious all at the same time. So here's the challenge I want you to think about. Next time you're with her, don't rush to fill the silence. Let it breathe. Listen with intention. And when you do speak, make it count. Because your words are currency. And the man who spends carefully always comes out richer. But this brings us to the next piece of the puzzle. Because even if you master silence, even if you learn how to talk less and listen more, there's something that can still ruin it all. And that's how you handle setbacks. 3. The power of handling failure and not rushing. Here's something most men don't want to face. Failure, rejection, hearing no, that knot in your stomach when things don't go the way you hoped. For a lot of guys, that moment defines them. They get turned down once, and they carry it like a scar. They move differently, talk differently, even think differently. Like that one experience proved they're not good enough. But here's the truth. It's not rejection that destroys you. It's how you handle it. Think about it. Every man you look up to, every man you'd call powerful or magnetic, has failed more times than you can imagine. But the difference is, he didn't let it poison his mindset. He didn't rush into the next thing, desperate to prove himself. He absorbed the lesson, kept moving, and stayed grounded. That's what makes him unshakable. That's why people respect him. Because when life hits him, he doesn't fold. He adjusts. And women? They feel this. They can sense it instantly. A man who can take a setback and keep his composure, that's rare. That's attractive. Why? Because it shows strength. It shows patience. It shows he's not desperate for validation. He doesn't need things to go his way every single time to believe in himself. And that kind of man? That's the one women obsess over, because he becomes the safe harbor in a world full of chaos. But here's the dangerous trap: rushing. The moment you start rushing, whether it's rushing into a relationship, rushing to prove yourself, or rushing to fix what went wrong, you lose all your power. Because rushing comes from fear. It comes from lack. It comes from this inner voice screaming, "If I don't lock her down right now, I'll lose everything." And guess what? That voice is exactly what pushes her away. Women don't fall for panic. They fall for patience. Imagine this. You text her. She doesn't respond right away. A weak man spirals. He double texts, triple texts, gets angry, overthinks. A strong man? He shrugs. He's busy with his own life. He knows if she's into him, she'll circle back. And if she doesn't? That's not a loss. It's redirection. That's the difference between being needy and being inevitable. And that's the word I want you to take with you. Inevitable. When you stop rushing, when you stop crumbling at rejection, when you move with patience and strength, you become the kind of man who's not optional. You become inevitable. Because you're not chasing. You're not begging. You're not folding under pressure. You're simply living in your power, and sooner or later, the right woman can't help but fall into your orbit. So here's the challenge I'll leave you with. Stop fearing failure, and stop rushing the process. The faster you want it, the longer it'll take. But the moment you trust yourself, trust the timing, and hold your ground, you'll notice everything changes. Women respect it. Life respects it. And most importantly, you'll respect yourself. And that, my brother, is the foundation of being inevitably loved. If you made it to the end, drop a comment with magnetic. Let me see who's ready to level up.